come for your vote. And they tell you, I want you to vote for me. I'm going to water you. I'm going to fire you. I'm going to give you electricity. That is just the balance around here and beyond in Nigeria. Why, if you do not know them, don't vote them?
All right, Mr. Bushi, you know, the people we call our public servants, some of us don't know them or know their background, where they're coming from. Before now, we don't know how leaders emerge. Before now, we don't know how political leaders emerge. And at the end of the day, we have continued to witness having one successive failed government to another. They fail in many ramifications. And like I rightly pointed out at always, that the primary responsibility of every government is to protect lives and property. That's the fundamental, the number one, before every other one. And if you fail in these tasks, you have failed in all. Now, we have witnessed a failure in this aspect. And that was exactly what prompted us to start this program on this radio station, Odenibo. We want to end impunity in government. We want to end failed governance in our homeland and across African nations. We started with ending open grazing. And ending open grazing is tantamount to, you know, ending insecurity, because if you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, majority of insecurity issues boils around open grazing. And we've been saying, what stops governors, especially the governors of the Southeast, from signing into law anti-open grazing bill? And it's not like these laws are not existing. This is part of our customary law. But we're just asking them to elevate it, bring it up, and make it a state law. Enact it. ADF, Alibo Development Foundation, led by Professor Zadebanwa, have drafted a bill and sent to these houses and government houses in the Southeast, in Igbo-speaking states. And up to today, they are all playing nonchalant attitude, I don't care attitude towards it. And you can attest with, to the fact that we are heading towards serious food crisis, where you have hunger crisis. And that is one of the most dangerous situations any society can find itself, because this alone can prompt anarchy. And we have also witnessed the reason why many of our farmers have refused to go to farm. Many of them have said, no, we are not venturing into our forest because it is no longer safe. Why? Because of open grazing. Not that they go in there, I mean, some of the headers go in there and start grazing on people's farmland. They also pose a serious threat, life. Some of the people we have seen, people who are maimed, people who are kidnapped and ransom demanded, people who have been ultimately killed in some of these confrontations. They will call it headers farmers clashes. These are not clashes, because we have not seen the farmers taking up arms against these headers, but rather we've seen it from the other way around. But our governments have refused to do the needful by enacting or uplifting our customary law, which prohibits people from grazing in other people's land. There was a video I published recently on my social media platform where we see these headers. They go into farmland. They don't only graze on the leaves. They harvest the yam or the cassava or the crops, cut it into sizes and feed it to their cows. We've seen it, not like it is a propaganda.
Do they do that in anger or retaliation, or
there is no anger there. There is no retaliation there.
The video you're talking about.
Of course, there is no anger there. You see them doing it with joy. We see them feeding their cattle as if to say it is a norm. that you just have, that we have conquered this territory. This territory now belongs to us, and nobody, anything that is here is our own, and we can now feed it to our cows. Now we are saying that these security issues we are looking at, insecurity issues, and the issue of good governance, because it is only when someone has eaten well that he can, he can deliver in his work as a public servant. It's only when someone that has fed well that can, live healthy. And wealthy society is determined by a healthy society. In fact, our food security in Igbo land is the paramount. And the insecurity of our farmlands is posing serious threats on this very issue, which is very, very important. Now, we have sent to these bills to this government, and they are playing nonchalant attitude towards it. And we said, okay, we are going to mobilize 1 million people to stage a protest to mandate this government to do the needful. After all, that will be the people, that will be the main government. They are public servants. But from the look of things, we have seen that the people who are supposed to be public servants are now public emperors. They are no longer serving the interests of people. They will yield to the aspiration of the people and their demands. But reverse is the case. It's unfortunate that those we employed to serve you are now the ones dictating what you, the master, should do and what you should not do. Now, we say, end open grazing. We are going to mobilize 1 million man march and the rest of them. And when we are mobilizing it, it seems that there was tension that was built. NSAS came up and people became apprehensive because of how it all ended. Hey, we cannot come out to do a protest. If you come out, they will kill you. Now we are saying, we are now moving and shifting the battleground to the polling units. We are now, since, we all agree that prevention is better than cure. That is what we're saying. And it starts from preventing these parasites that are on the corridors of power, that have pursued their personal interests as against the interests of the people that voted them in. Now, it is time for us to purge the system. Coronavirus and COVID-19. I told people, yes, there is coronavirus. Now, we have coronavirus and at the same time, corona government. People who are in government houses and are posing more serious threat than even what coronavirus is posing on us. Now, what we are now saying is that know whom they are. If you don't know them, don't vote them. Because you cannot, when you employ somebody that you don't even know, and at the end of the day, the person turns out to become what you never expected, it is your fault.
In the past, there had been some times when opinion molders came up with a personality and they said, we know this very person. And there had been some persons we have known over the years, and at the end of the day, their government do not yield much. There had been some freedom fighters who took over charge of a country, and they were so, people praised them. You understand? There is this one in Uganda. Some persons are saying he's despotic. Yeah, despotic. Some persons say that he has been there for more than 35 years. Museveni. And you know that when he came, there must have been some person that supported him when he came, because he came with all these freedom mantra. He came with all these corruption, go away mantra. We want to put them out of the system. But at the end of the day, he took over. After many years, what is the main thing that caused, even once they got there,
the change?
Because we may end up, it is good to look for, like, I know who you are. This person may be here, but there are some, so to say, cabal controlling him. It's either they purge him out by force, or he remains there and do their bidding. How are we going to continue telling them, okay, once we test you, you are not good, you go? The system, how can we correct the system?
Now, you've asked this question, and I think I've addressed similar things of the similar issue here. When someone, I think Tony asked me here, the difference between the Western world where things are working and in Africa where things are not working. In the Western world, institutions are built not around individuals. Institutions are stronger than individuals. Look at what happened in the United States of America, US. president. That is what happens when the system is stronger than individuals. But in Africa here, and let me say this once more, the people that makes the institutions to be strong are the people. Because the state, when you say the state is strong and powerful, the state ordinarily means the people. Kind of people. You know, I've said here that you cannot get the kind of government you are not part of. These people emerge from our society. Then ask yourself, what kind of society do we have? We have a kind of society where people are gullible. And that is why, while channeling our energy on identifying the failures of government and why some of these people have failed in government, we work on the people's mentality. We try to liberate the people mentally, because that is where the freedom starts from. Our people are so gullible that they allow themselves to be used as tools in the hands of their oppressors at their own expense. You can imagine somebody selling himself into slavery and misery, and some of them, you see them line up. I must tell you, in 2021 Anambra State, some people are already sewing ashebis, different ashebis they will use to drum support for this person to the other person, because they are going to be given some amount of money, or some of them are looking for juicy positions or appointment just to carry out his own personal agendas. They are not carrying these things because they are not carrying some of these placards and these support goods, sewing different ashebis because they want the good of the people. No, their interest, their eyeball is the appointment they are going to get. Their eyeball, their eye is focused on the goal of getting into public office and squandering the wealth, diverting it.
It is popular that politics is local, and they say politics is a game of interest. Thirdly, politics is the game of number. Now, game of number, how can you mobilize in real sense? Because as you're mobilizing for good governance, those who would not want good governance are mobilizing as well.
Of course.
So how do you mobilize against their mobilization?
Now,
you are calling people to come and join you, and as well as you are trying to educate these masses against being gullible, they are as well in a kind of infusing something that is going to make them gullible. In real sense, we're talking about what are the plans you have to militate against all these rhetorics.
All right. You asked a very straightforward question, and I have to answer it straightforward. The plans we are making, the mobilization we are doing, is what we are doing right here. First, open the minds of the people to see and understand. Who are these men? That's why we say, if you don't know them, don't vote them. Then how are you going to know them? Who will be the right person to carry our aspiration? We want to end open grazing. Who will do that for us? How will we know from among these people that have come out or are aspiring to come out, who will deliver our mandate? And that is where this program becomes the center stage, the focal point for this 2021 election. Now, let me tell you what will be happening, and let me tell our viewers and listeners all over the world what they will be expecting from this program moving forward. From February, we are inviting all, we begin with their support base, those who are drumming, because many of them have not come out openly. So many of them have had their support groups and people promoting them. We are inviting, beginning with their support base, those who are clamoring support for any person, for any aspiration for governorship of 2021 Anambra State. We bring all of them on this platform. We will ask them, you that is marketing somebody, you know, when somebody brings a good to you or a product to you and marketing it, that person should know the goods very well and should be able to answer some questions. The adverse effect, the usage, the good, the advantage, the disadvantage of using that product. Now, they are marketing different individuals. We will bring them here first because they are bigger problem. They are the number one problem, because don't do team kukabana na paba. Fatigim kugaba, fatigidem haneti mweba faneje.
Onye ji go ke wonu so.
Man, at this time all the people they age the ego. Oh, if I know. Now, we will bring these people here one after the other. We already have a platform where we are mobilizing this whole thing, People's Restoration Movement. And some of these people are already gathered. Some of them have already indicated interest that they are going to participate, because they are listening to this program as I speak. And let me tell you, the whole thing is charged. They know that we are no nonsense people, and only the bad ones, they never do well. The people that will not add any value will be the ones that will abscond from this program, because they don't want the people to open their yash. Now, wait till we want to talk. They say every of the aspirant promoters, their marketers, we will bring them on this place, beginning with them. Let them tell us. We will ask them questions. We need to know you. Now, talking about somebody that goes into power and change, let me tell you, that person did not change. He only activated what he had been already. Let me tell you, that is the truth. Money doesn't change somebody. Money only activates whom you are. Power doesn't change somebody. Power only activates whom you are. When you have money and power, the real you will come out.
But it's a money, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That has been in the history of politics.
That I'm telling you now that somebody that is good, somebody that is contented from origin will always be contented, even with money and with power. Now, what we expect the people, and it doesn't stop there. Like I always say and identify that if you bring angel from heaven to come down here, I don't want to use Jesus Christ so that some people will not misquote me. If you bring angel to come down here under this same situation with the kind of people we have as followers, that angel will be corrupt. Our people will beg you to steal. In fact, if you go into public office, your owners will see you as a slave if you are not, if you don't practice nepotism, if you don't practice favoritism that will favor them alone, if you don't steal much money and come to share to them, or give them juicy appointment, or even without knowing that, or without considering whether they are competent or not. Now, this is the situation we need to change. We need to have a society where positions will be based on character, people who have proven integrity, people we can entrust with public office and go home, not just to sleep, but expect that our aspiration will be carried out to the letter as we continue to push them. Now, what we are going to be doing moving forward, like I said earlier, we bring them here, we scrutinize them. When we scrutinize them, we will now know who are these people. What are you selling? What product are you selling? The people are hearing. They themselves know. They will be listening. And they will know that their background, okay, from their village, from their omonna, from where they schooled in the primary school, their mates in the primary school, and they more than the secondary school, will speak. We ask them questions. This character of yours that you demonstrated so time, what can you guarantee on Anambra people that this character will not reflect when you go into God? Because there are people that you see them, they are intolerant. You cannot relate with them, and they will try to reason with you to come into understanding of what you are talking about. When you have somebody that always superimposes himself and will on the people from the secondary school, let me tell you, that person, when you give them position of power, he becomes a dictator. He will tell you, if you don't do it, you go out. Somebody that is desperate to impose his will, those people are the kind of people that they don't change over time. These are the what we're going to find out from scrutinizing all these aspirants. Because if you are an employer, we the people are the employer. I'm the voice of the people, the voice of God and the voice of our ancestors. And there is no missing word about it. And when we bring them here, the people will ask them questions, because the people are the employers. The people will know whom they are. We will present their CV to us. They will present their CV to us. We analyze them, we scrutinize them, and know who is best for the job.
We scrutinize them and know who is the best for the job. With Daniel 99.1 FM. Remember, this program is Good Governance, and is coming to you from the mobilizers of this very thing is People's Restoration Movement, PRM. You can as well call this program Good Governance Ministry. I have with me here a guest who has been talking about good governance and how to deal with it, how to mobilize the grassroots. That is it. The program today, the topic is, if you do not know them, do not vote them. Yes, Mr. Sozo, Chinedu Peters, please, as we're talking about open grazing, or we're talking about grassroots, there had been some persons in the past who had been against it, and their story, their end, is not good. According to San Satan, he says that I like to be like Moses, show my people how to know the way. But then I noticed that people who try they underground. Because on Friday, there were crises in Oyo State concerning Fulani headsmen and someone who said that they should be out from the system. The next day, being Saturday, the story we had was that the IGP ordered his arrest. You know, they say everybody, as far as you're a citizen of Nigeria or you are qualified residents, bona fide residents in Nigeria, you can do business anywhere, any place of the nation. And no one has right of eviction to anybody. How do you deal with this?
That is quite hypocritical of the government. I would say the IG of police has proven beyond every doubt that this government is biased when it comes to the issue of Fulani headsmen and the issue of Meitiala. That is the fact. We've had, even when the bandits or the insurgents killed farmers, the federal government swiftly came up to blame the farmers. Why didn't they approach them first before going into the farms? Instead of tackling the issue of insecurity head on. People who are hungry, somebody that is already dying of hunger, and you are asking the person to even ask for permission before venturing, that is to tell you the level of hunger people are already passing through, for them to dare their farms when they know it is unsafe. Now, we've seen people when somebody like Bishop Kuka have been very, very outspoken concerning this menace. And some people gave him ultimatum to leave Sokoto. Up to today, nobody issued any warrant of arrest or ultimatum to arrest whoever that is behind such.
But the federal government warned those who threatened.
Warning can just be a mere, I would say, mouth or lip service. But when it comes,
isn't that a good direction in starting to nip such in the bud?
Now let me tell you. Let me talk about nipping it in the bud. The federal government compromised the security of Nigerian people by opening up the borders and saying every sub-Saharan is free to come. We had when it happened. I'm not the one that opened the borders. Freely, people now migrate into Nigeria from the sub-Saharan African countries into Nigeria in their droves. Before now, Fulani people have been in our communities. While growing up, we see Fulani men carry their cattle with their stick. There was no concern for this issue of people coming to grab land. Now, let me tell you, in Igbo land specifically, and most part of Nigeria, there is no free land anywhere. It is owned by people. In Igbo land, every Igbo son is a landlord. Do you know that? Every Igbo son is a landlord. Like Ejapi and business because things are no longer working. Every male child, it is your inheritance. So when any community, there is no community you enter that you say that the land is open, is not owned by people. There is no law that gives anyone any right to go to your property and occupy that property without your consent. What we are saying, we are not saying that people should not graze their cattle. What we are saying is that in a modern society, you rent your cattle. That gives the cattle, makes the cattle a healthier cattle. It even provides jobs and creates more jobs and boom the economy. Because people who will be dealing on these animal feeds will start springing up. The cattle, their skins, and the thing, reducing the value of the skins, which is meant for leather production and all the rest of them. And we cannot export all these things. Now, when you have people who think like nomads at the helm of affairs, In a modern society, now we don't say, okay, we've seen people or the situation where in your community, people will just come in the wee hours and go in. I'm not addressing the issue of the reason why people are not comfortable with the headers way of settling a parallel community. And look at the danger. I must say it in open air. We from the south, we are Christians.
But not all.
I said we are predominantly Christians. Let me use that.
Okay.
And in our society, Christianity practice one man, one wife. And on top of it, we add family planning. Now you will only give birth to 1 or 2, at most 3.
Or 6.
6 is the maximum. How many persons they give 10 this time?
They still do that in our society.
Let me tell you the truth. This is the reality on ground. And in our communities, you have people who are settled in our communities without our knowledge. They don't identify with the community. They will now set up a parallel community. Before you know what is happening, these men, before the implication is that, and that is basically the reason why some of these people are apprehensive. And we are saying, nobody is saying do not go and do business. What we're saying, ranch your business just like everybody threats on the people. Now, what is wrong with federal government mandating mates to sponsor the private businesses? Let them a legitimate channel of empowering farmers. But for them to now grab of people in another person's land, it is not possible. When we know that many of them are not even Nigerians, we cannot guarantee that they are Nigerians.
Okay.
After all.
Okay. Remember, you are on to Denibo 99.1 FM. Is your sincerely Buchi MSC, and I am here with Chinedu Asozo Peters. He is the person in Elijah and the person putting up all these analysis, trying to tell you the best thing you should do to know the people you are voting and to know how to vote for them and to follow them up and to tell them that they are your servant. They are serving the public and not the other way around, not the public serving them. This is the target of this very program. It is by coming from 99.1 FM with support from People's Restoration Movement, PRM, and we are discussing today, if you don't know them, don't vote them. You can as well be part of it. Yes, if you are here listening live on 99.1 FM, remember you can call 070-194-78850 or 070-381-55515. Before you play discussing, please remember not to insult the sensibility of anybody listening, whether minority or majority, whether opposition side or on your own side. We're talking for development. Please help us and move away from anything that could obstruct. Turn down the volume on your radio set. Thank you as you're listening. Hello? Hello, good morning. Good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to, I think Chinedu.
Yes. Good morning to you, my brother.
Thank you so much for a wonderful analysis and your concern for another thing. But we have a problem.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is from Election Road. We have seen the role some of these old generation churches in Anambra here. Okay? I don't know your plan towards that. Most times in Africa, when the church, even when they on the church, they incompetent. And then they want to think they want a body of Christ. That has been a very great problem we have here. I'm not your program towards that angle. Because it's been a party play a major role. And it's a means to become the governor here. Make you mean you may be making a mistake. So I'm not your main man. Your program towards that angle. And Well, what I gave never come on there. But I'm supposed to be praying. I'm not the other way around. Not to come and why you know, church, you know, that kind of thing. And sometimes they have the region of election. I'm telling you what I see with my eyes. Sabbath, the nation of Sabbath. So, we have a very great problem to humanity. So, can you again on that regard? I've been the message I've been bringing home because there will never have our interest. That's the simple truth. The governor from Southeast, I don't want to call his name, they put a political party more take over Anambra State. I can't be official. We are talking about good government.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He's asking, how can you get to these opinion models like in the church? How can you get to them? But I know you've taken the question. You can as well call us from 07019478850. Remember, this is Odengo 9.1 FM, and we are talking about if you don't vote them in. I have in the studios Mr. Chinedu Asuzo. He is the person analyzing all this. I want you to tell us your own, from your own point of view. You can ask questions as well. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much.
Your name and where you're calling from. Thank you.
Yes, I'm coming to that. But I got to give you some question of the house.
Thank you. Good morning.
Johnson, I'm calling in from Omega this morning.
Welcome.
Yes, the topic today is very interesting. I'm moved to call in and ask a question. Actually, I believe that anybody will voted to manage the affair or to be at the head will go there with good intentions. But the problem, most of the time, they do encounter the people they appointed to help them manage the affair of the state or the culture. Because ever before appointment is made, some political godfathers will give their recommendation, and you must keep to whatever they recommended for. Because they are the ones that help you to win elections. So when this appointment is made, these people that are appointed to help will channel their 70%, 60 to 70% of their loyalty. So that godfather that gives them, that help them to secure the appointment, leaving the man we voted to manage the affair of the state with about 40 or 30% of their loyalty. And when this man wants to do the right thing, you discover that the people they are appointed to help them will be telling them, don't do this, do this. And the man will become confused. Now you are telling us to know them and vote them. What about those we don't know that are being appointed? How do we manage that case? Good morning.
Thank you. Yes, remember you on to 9.1 FM, and this is Good Governance. You can call us on 07019478850. Thank you as you're listening. And today we are talking about good governance in the sense that you need to know them before you vote them. The topic today is if you don't know them, don't vote them. Keep your questions coming, keep your comments coming as you call us. Remember to turn down the volume on your radio set, and please do not say something that is going to be insulting to the sensibility of the listener, whether on the minority or majority, or whether on the opposition or whichever side we like to develop instead of to destroy. Hello?
Good morning. Beautiful morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Denebo. What's your name and where you're calling from?
You have the voice of David all the way from North.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Extend my greeting to the guests in the house.
Good morning to you.
Let me come in my mother's tongue. Because and I got to run or Baluan, if I never be getting the impact for the worldwide day. Because now, this time of election, will go. And the noise can't get with Isana. Man, the fear of every human being. Vote. Does Nigeria stick to their voting? Question. Then, over 986, of one day I may elect Tata, they put a Nigeria or Abo Cabal. Makanama Naimele President Wally elect. Indeed, now by law to the affairs of Nigeria that I may elect. So, even Jebu and Abadia, I think India, now I'm going to voting. Now I'm wrong voting. And then I am Amaunia in a vote. We might know them. When I may go to power here, what of Godfather? Man, we can find all just come on now. But if you all to one year, and I fight for that person. So, because they go in Nigeria, where's the Olonia behind it? When I will not your ticket. Okay, and will prove, and we don't approve. So, they have a problem. Upon I talk about it, automatic money as a little. Okay, for Buddha, the Baloku. That will Oka, Christian something. It's a very big problem in voting in Nigeria. In my work, because Nakita will again. Upon I saw massively money in a manoke, Yemete. Oka, Talonia, Coblonian, more Yemete, more Yemete. They are in population, they are in number. Omega practical last week, never many elections. People put in a election. They will politics who can cook when you're not outside. I'm not yet not here, men of good eyes. Sebastian, Hannah. Can you see quiet to my name? They won't know you no good. So next time I fool, the Malaysia gets into the Nigerian system of politics. Every kid in there, I said to your mother, vote. Okay. By God's power, more by appointment.
Dalo Nzebisi Nataba Dalo, thank you for calling. We are on to 9.1 FM, and I know you are listening. Thank you for listening, because Mr. Chinedu Asozo is going to do justice to all your questions and all your concerns. Remember, today we are discussing, if you don't know them, do not vote them. And this program is Good Governance, People's Restoration Movement, PRM. The mobilizers, and how can you be part of it? If you don't listen, you can be part of it, but you need to listen to help us provide solution and to even get the solution coming to you. Mr. Chinedu, Mr. DK Kenechukwu talked about church leaders, their own input, trying to influence election or who we are going to vote. Then he's asking, how can we deal with that? And Monday Johnson talked about something different, about something about appointees. Even if we vote the right person, how about their appointees? Do we know them? How can we control the wrong appointees of the governors or even our leaders? Then another person talked about, Nzebisi talked about church leaders again, trying to force us or to convince the voters to vote for the person in their own ranks or person in their church. How can you deal with all this?
Okay, let me quickly address it in two perspectives. One, I'll deal with the issue of stakeholdership, of godfatherism. And under that category, we have the church and the political godfathers on one side, how to deal with them. Then on the other side, we have to how to deal with political appointees, right? Good. Now, I said that we, the people, are the biggest stakeholders. We want to change the narrative. You have to understand what we want to do. We want to have a paradigm shift from power. You know, it's madness when you hear, I made this man governor. Whereas you have more than 100, 200, 500, 1 million people that rolled out to vote for an election. Then one man will say, I made this man governor. Something must have gone wrong. That thing that had been going wrong is what we want to fix. And let me tell you this. That one man that said, I made this man governor, did not do it single-handedly. He used the people to achieve that. And that is what we are trying to fix. We want to fix the people so that they stop being used by the so-called godfathers or public opinion molders like the church leaders. That's why we're setting up a parallel system. That's why we've come up with what we call good governance ministry. Here we are not denominational. We don't know whether you are Pentecostal, Anglican, or Sabbath or anything. No, we are here as good governance ministry, where it doesn't matter where you are coming from, as long as you can deliver the aspiration of the people. Now let me tell you the consequences of playing this person is from my church, this person is from my town. That is another issue. On the side, no, all those things doesn't matter. What matters is who are you and how much will you deliver. Because if you are the governor of Anambra State, you are not the governor of your hometown. And then let me tell you, if there is bad governance, the bad governance will not segregate between the people who are from the Catholic Church or the Anglican Church. If you are all going on through the same bad road, we will use the same bad road. If you are facing insecurity, every one of us will face the same insecurity. If we have food crisis, all of us will suffer it, irrespective of where you belong to or where you come from. That is one thing people must understand. Now, how to deal with it is to deal on the people. Open up the consciousness of the people to stop being used by these people that call themselves opinion molders or stakeholders or godfathers. And be independently mindset. You have an independent mindset of saying that, listen, we want somebody that will emanate from us, somebody that shares our aspiration, because they say by their fruit we shall know them. What fruit have these men that they are bringing, what fruit have they bared in the past? And that is those fruits we are here to scrutinize. We are going to scrutinize, squeeze out their juice and understand whether they have bared bad fruits or good fruits.
This very godfather may have been the person who built that very church or that very cathedral.
That is it.
Yes, over the years. And he grew up in around that very place, perhaps traveled somewhere, went to school and came back. So they really know him. They might not know that very aspect of him that could be detrimental to the government. They had always known him as a philanthropist who built the church, and they can see it. Now, the election is fast approaching. November this year, we're going to have an election in Anambra State. Don't you think it is a little bit late trying to build this very foundation against this foundation that had been there? And you remember that these very persons, these voters, normally go to church every Sunday. Even some of them go to church every day, morning mass and rest of them. And if it is like traditionalists, African traditional religion practitioners, they go to their shrine like Igwe, where they gather. And this will talk to them more than you do.
My brother, let me tell you, we are not competing with the church.
No, not competition.
Now, let me tell you this. The church, our people go to church. If you want, you can go twice a day. Fine, no problem. Obey every doctrine they teach you on your way to heaven, because that is what the church is meant to do, to prepare you for life after here. Fine, the life eternal. That is wonderful. But when it comes to good governance, when it comes to fixing our roads, when it comes to fixing our schools, when it comes to our security, when it comes to ensuring food security in our homeland, my dear, good governance ministry have come to stay. And we are here. We are not here to pamper your emotion. We are here to deliver the mandate of the people. That is why I am the voice of the people, the voice of God, and the voice of our ancestors.
So how is it going to be if you could, good governance ministry, could get to these opinion molders in case they are going astray and thinking that they are protecting their interests and protecting the interests of the people? How can you talk to these church leaders or opinion molders?
We cannot pour the new wine in an old jar.
But they are important to the society.
They are important to themselves and not to the society. That is the truth. It is time for the people to rise above mediocrity and emotion. It is time for the people to rise above sentiment and call a spade a spade. I have sat one-on-one with an Archbishop Emeritus, and I discussed with him 1 hour. He bowed his face and told me, my son, we have, because you donated 5 million or 10 million to you, knowing fully well that he had diverted same money that was supposed to use to feed the schools or the hospital or supposed to deliver good governance. You will donate to the church. I've seen a case where someone, in fact, where someone that is nothing, all of a sudden he entered into public office. In less than 3 months, he comes back to a church to do dedication of houses, cars, and the rest of them. The church will not ask him, where did you get this money from?
The church will not ask him, where did you get
In
this
fact,
money
he
from?
will say, wherever you got this money should multiply. At the expense of the people. And the people will be clapping hand. No, it doesn't work in the same society.
Let us move to the phone line now. Thank you. Call us on 07019478850. Remember, this is good governance. Anything you say here is going to be used for development of the society, which you and I live. So please, before you make your statement, make sure you think twice and be conscious of not making a statement that is going to be detrimental or insensitive to the sensibilities of any other listener, whether majority or minority. Remember, you're on Todenibo 99.1 FM, and I'm here with Mr. Chinedu Asozo. Yes, call us on 07019478850. You can as well call us on 07038155515. There is a number that, in case you couldn't get through, you can call after this very program. I'm going to call this number so that if you want to be part of this very movement and you believe in the aspirations of making the society better as propounded and pushed by the People's Restoration Movement, call this number 080 081 042 07522. Let me repeat it, please. As you call, they will direct you better. 080 609 82212. Hello? If you can make it snappy, turn down the volume on your radio set.
Good morning.
Good morning. Turn it down, please, so that we can hear you.
Okay. This is Omwalu from Ojoto.
Welcome.
Now, I don't know, studio. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This one and only was in an you see, you have to have a mad no queen. It's what I'm at more as when you do the I was working on Nigeria. I'm 1949. More than I don't think that's 2 years ago.
Thank God for your life.
Everyone in Nigeria, and I think that the 10 years were made independent. Everyone now has to work and independent. So I'm a primary school at record. All the Nigeria came back, and Nigeria will do that. But what will change your life from Nigeria? And I said that Josh shall go. Just as I grew up, and I gave myself a woman who can know what she's in that she's in a way of more. Whether it was 50 years later, one who graduated and I told him, so we was not that. Then, you can't see a way you go. Ndị Igbo ugbo ga ya ama ife ha ndị okwu a nwanne nwoke kwuru maka ndị ụka ya abụ onye ụka ebe efu ndị ụka na-akabazi ife a na-eme Naijiria na na-eme anyị n'ọchịchị a na-anọ n'ụlọ ụka mma abụ afa ihe bịafara ibutego ndị ha abịakwa ụkwụ bụzaba buru esi bịa buru ngwongwo na ngwugwu bịa ewenyere aka na profit n'ọba ya esi ọfụma eji ebe anabataba ndị ụka atụa maka na n'ọnụ ụka ga na-enweta majority. All the look at when I am not going to add you, not all mother had you. That is Walker. That one, George, my government and look at one mother, who not one and add your mother. So this is one way to get not look at our little mother in there. So I think I met the man that you see here. And you can get Dalarin, Odenbo 9.1 FM. You can call us on 07019478850. But I would like you to make it snappy because we are behind time. We have talked down the clock. Hello? Ututu Omano. Ndewo no. Can I forget a bit, Sapo? No. No. What is over there? I'm your personal studio. Because I want to try to see where both by there. Born matter 1 million march and a number. I want to educate in the Anambra Macabo to buy now. But can I have either my other consequence? It's like somebody not time and the distance necessary last time. I call one not if I'm because of the mindset in this side. So I am a book of 1 million much education, the much goodbye now. All your balloons so good, where I let
All right. Thank you, Arun Zejidan. All the important. I music I wrap up. Mr. Chinedu, Peter Asuzu, Kevin Wiki Gwande buying and because vote button buying and any other thing.
Okay, let me just quickly say this in terms of vote buying. Understand this, that they cannot buy your vote if it is not counted. Upon that na vote to give Enwarishi, they will not pay money to buy it. Okay. So we are mobilizing 1 million voters under this platform that will deliver the person that will carry our aspiration to the letter, beginning with open grazing, beginning with fixing our roads, our schools, making business environment viable for business people to strive. So these are the things we are aspiring for. And I tell you, from February, we will be bringing them on this platform. And we may extend the time. We need you to, we need to partner with you. You can call the numbers he has already called before, 0610-420-7522, to deliver on this mandate, to extend it, to partner with us, because we are sponsoring it just from BVI Channel 1. So please follow us and make sure that we fix our homeland. Till I come your way next week, I'll be serving you as the voice of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. He will be serving you as the voice of the people. Remember, you're on Todinbo 99.1 FM. We thank you for listening and thank you for making contribution. I thank you for being sensible to other person's intentions, and we thank you. Same time, same station next week. Don't touch that dial. Good governance makes a return. Thank you.